Infection control principles and practices. Learning objectives for this chapter are to list the 16 categories of information required on safety data sheets. Understand state laws and rules and differences between them. List the types and classifications of bacteria. Define bloodborne pathogens and explain how they are transmitted. Explain the difference between cleaning, disinfecting, and sterilizing. List the types of disinfectants and the steps to using them properly. Define standard precautions. List your responsibilities as a salon professional. Consider this scenario. You are a new employee of a salon that offers hair and nail services. At the end of the day, the salon manager asks you to help clean and disinfect the counters, workstations, tools, implements, and pedicure equipment. Your manager also tells you to enter the cleaning and disinfecting information in the salon's logbook. You know how important it is to follow the proper cleaning and disinfection procedures in the salon. Many different state and federal agencies regulate the practice of cosmetology. Federal agencies include OSHA, is the Occupational Safety and Health Administration. It was created as part of the U.S. Department of Labor to regulate and enforce safety and health standards in the workplace. Material Safety Data Sheets. Occupational Safety and Health Act of 1970. MSDS was created in response to this. SDS replaces the Material Safety Data Sheets. This initiative was designed to create label standards to be used around the world and includes use of specific pictograms to indicate possible safety concerns, as well as adoption of 16 category standard format SDS sheets. All 16 categories include product identification, hazard identification, composition information on ingredients, first aid measures, firefighting measures, accidental release measures, handling and storage, exposure controls, personal protection, physical and chemical properties, stability and reactivity, toxicology information, ecological information, disposal consideration, transport information, regulatory information, and revision date. The EPA registers all types of disinfectants sold and used in the United States. Disinfectants are chemicals that destroy most bacteria, excluding spores, fungi, and viruses on surfaces. The two types that are used in salons are hospital disinfectants and tuberculocidal disinfectants. State regulatory agencies exist to protect salon professionals and their clients' health and safety while they receive salon services. State regulatory agencies include licensing agencies, state boards of cosmetology, commissions, and health departments. Regulatory agencies require that everyone working in a salon follow salon or specific procedures. Laws and rules. What is the difference? Laws determine the scope of practice and establish guidelines for regulatory agencies, such as the EPA. Rules, also called regulations, are more specific than laws. They determine how the law will be applied. Understand the principles of infection. Salon professionals' responsibility. Risk injury or infection. Know and use proper procedure and prevention. Infection control is the methods used to eliminate or reduce the transmission of infectious organisms. 4 types of potentially harmful organisms are bacteria, viruses, fungi, and parasites. Infectious disease, salon tools, clean, Disinfectants used in salons must be bactericidal, virucidal, and fungicidal. Bacteria, minute one-celled microorganisms that have both plant and animal characteristics. A microorganism is any organism of microscopic or submicroscopic size. Some bacteria are harmful and some are harmless. They can exist almost anywhere, on skin, in water, in the air, in decayed matter, on environmental surfaces, in body secretions, on clothing, or under the free edge of nails. Bacteria are so small they can only be seen with a microscope. Types of bacteria. There are thousands of different kinds of bacteria that fall into two primary types. Non-pathogenic. These are helpful or harmless bacteria that perform useful functions, such as decomposing refuse and improving soil fertility. They help metabolize food, protect against microorganisms, and stimulate immune response. Pathogenic are harmful and disease-producing when they invade plant or animal tissue. Bacterial growth and reproduction. The life cycle of bacteria consists of two distinct phases, the active stage and the inactive stage or spore-forming stage. Active, the stage where the bacteria that is capable of forming a spore to protect itself so to withstand an environment incompatible with its existence. During the active stage, bacteria thrive in a warm, moist, dark, and dirty environment. It only takes about 20 to 60 minutes for bacteria to reach full growth. They then divide into two cells through a method called binary fission, and the new cells are called daughter cells. Inactive or spore forming is the stage where bacteria is capable of forming a spore to protect itself so to withstand an unfavorable environment. Bacterial spore is the ability of certain types of bacteria to form a hard keratin coating that will protect it until the environment is more favorable. Bacterial infections occur when body tissues are invaded by disease-causing or pathogenic bacteria. Inflammation is a condition in which the body reacts to injury, irritation, or infection. Inflammation is characterized by redness, heat, pain, and swelling. The presence of pus can be a sign of infection. Pus is a fluid byproduct of the infection process. It contains white blood cells, dead cells, and bacteria. Local infections are confined to a single area, such as a pimple, boil, or infected cut. It appears as a lesion containing pus. Pus contains bacteria, white blood cells, and dead cells. Staphylococci is the most common pus-forming bacteria. Systemic infections affect a larger portion of the body. The infection is distributed throughout the body. It is widespread and is not localized. Staphylococci is the most common human bacteria. They can be picked up on doorknobs, countertops, handshaking, or contaminated implements. Methicillin-resistant Staphylococcus aureus, commonly referred to as MRSA, initially appears as a skin infection, presenting as a pimple, rash, or boil. MRSA infections are very difficult to cure. Without proper treatment, the infection becomes systemic and can have devastating consequences that result in death. Contagious or communicable disease are spread from one person to another by direct or indirect contact, such as coughing, sneezing, unclean hands, unclean implements, open sores, common drinking cups, common towels, and so on. Common contagious diseases preventing cosmetologists from working are tuberculosis, colds, ringworm, scabies, head lice, and virus infection. Viruses are parasitic submicroscopic particles that infect the cells of biological organisms and are capable of taking over the host cell reproductive function. They are capable of infecting almost all plants, animals, and bacteria. They can pass through the pores of a porcelain filter. Viruses most common are common colds and other respiratory and gastrointestinal infections. They may include measles, mumps, chickenpox, smallpox, rabies, yellow fever. Biofilms are colonies of microorganisms that adhere to environmental surfaces as well as the human body. They secrete a sticky protective coating that cements them together and is hard to penetrate. Biofilms are very hard to pierce with antiseptics, antimicrobials, and disinfection. They keep the body in a chronic inflammatory state that is painful and inhibits healing. Bloodborne pathogens are disease-causing microorganisms that are carried in the body by blood or body fluids, such as hepatitis and HIV. The spread of bloodborne pathogens is possible through the following: haircutting, chemical burns, shaving, nipping, clipping, broken skin. Hepatitis is a bloodborne virus that causes disease and can damage the liver. There are 3 types of hepatitis that are concerned in the salon: hepatitis A, B, and C. HIV/AIDS is the human immunodeficiency virus and is the virus that causes acquired immune deficiency syndrome. AIDS breaks down the body's immune system. HIV is spread from person to person through blood and less often through other bodily fluids. HIV virus is spread mainly through the sharing of needles by intravenous drug users and by unprotected sexual contact. Less commonly, HIV is spread through accidents with needles in healthcare settings. Activities that are not methods for transmitting the disease is holding hands, hugging, kissing, sharing food, sharing household items. Fungi are single-celled organisms that grow in irregular masses that include molds, mildews, and yeasts. They can produce contagious diseases such as ringworm, folliculitis barbae, also known as pseudofolliculitis barbae, is an inflammation of hair follicles caused by the bacterial infection, often caused by Staphylococcus aureus. Outside of healthcare, this is often referred to as barber's itch or hot tub folliculitis. Tinea barbae, superficial fungal infection caused by a variety of dermatophytes that commonly affect the skin, primarily limited to bearded areas of the face and neck around the scalp. Tinea capitis, fungal infection of the scalp characterized by red papules or spots at the opening of the hair follicle. Tinea pedis, ringworm fungus of the foot. Parasites. These are organisms that grow, feed, and shelter on or in another organism, or a host. They must have a host to survive. They're found in food, plants, trees, and water. Pediculosis capitis is head lice. Scabies is caused by an itch mite. Preventing the spread of disease. Sterilization is a process that destroys all microbial life. Third step that can be incorporated but is very rarely mandated is sterilization. Typically requires the use of an autoclave to complete. Decontamination. Removal of blood and all other potentially infectious materials on an item's surface. Removal of visible debris or residues such as dust, hair, and skin. Cleaning. The removal of all visible dirt and debris from tools, implements, and equipment by washing with liquid soap and warm water, and by using a clean and disinfected nail brush to scrub any grooved or hinged portions of the item. A surface must be properly cleaned before it can be properly disinfected. There are 3 ways to clean your tools or implements: washing with soap and warm water and then scrubbing them with a clean and properly disinfected nail brush, using an ultrasonic unit, using a cleaning solvent. Disinfection is the process that eliminates most, but not necessarily all, microorganisms on non-porous surfaces. This process is not effective against bacterial spores. It's extremely effective in the salon for controlling microorganisms on surfaces such as shears, nippers, and other multi-use tools and equipment. Disinfectants are not for use on human skin, hair, or nails. Never use disinfectants as hand cleaners, since this can cause skin irritation and allergy. Disinfectant tips. Use only on pre-cleaned, hard, non-porous surfaces. Always wear gloves and safety glasses when handling disinfectant. Always dilute products according to the instructions on the product label. An item must remain submerged in the disinfectant for 10 minutes unless that product specifically identifies a different method. To disinfect large surfaces such as tabletops, carefully apply the disinfectant onto the pre-cleaned surface or use a disinfectant spray and allow it to remain wet for 10 minutes, unless the product label specifies differently. If the product label or your state's rules require complete immersion, that means the entire implement must be completely immersed in the solution. Change the disinfection solution according to the instructions on the label. If the liquid is not changed as instructed, it will no longer be effective and may begin to promote the growth of microbes. Proper disinfection of a whirlpool, pipeless, or air-jet pedicure spa requires that the disinfectant solution circulate for 10 minutes unless the product label specifies otherwise. Disinfectants are not all the same. Some are appropriate for use in salon and some are not. You should be aware of the different types of disinfectants and ones that are recommended for salon use. Quaternary ammonium compounds are very effective when used properly in the salon. It's the most advanced type of these formulations, called multiple quats. May contain anti-rust ingredients. Most disinfect in 10 minutes. Long-term exposure may damage fine steel. Phenolic disinfectants. Powerful disinfectants, known as tuberculocidal, are a form of formaldehyde. Can be harmful to the environment. Do not pour down a drain. It can damage rubber and plastic, can cause metals to rust. Avoid skin contact. Has a high pH and can cause irritation. Bleach is a type of a household disinfectant and has 5.25% sodium hypochlorite. It's an effective disinfectant. Used extensively as a disinfectant in the salon for large surface areas such as countertops and floors. Using too much bleach can damage some metals and plastics, so be sure to read the label for safe use. Bleach can be corrosive to metals and plastics and can cause skin irritation and eye damage. Bleach should not be used to disinfect salon and spa tools and implements such as shears, combs, and brushes. State rules require that all multi-use tools and implements must be cleaned and disinfected before and after every service, even when they are used on the same person. Mix all disinfectants according to the manufacturer's directions, always adding the disinfectant to the water, not the water to the disinfectant. Have contact points that cannot be immersed in water or liquid. Clean and disinfect using an EPA-registered disinfectant designed for use on electrical devices. Follow the procedures recommended by the disinfectant manufacturer. Disinfecting work surfaces. Before every client service, clean and disinfect any surface that the customer's skin may have touched. Clean doorknobs and handles daily to reduce transferring germs to your hands. Clean towels, linens, and capes must be used for each client. Do not reuse until properly laundered. Launder according to the directions on the item's label. Be sure that all items are thoroughly dried. Store soiled linens in covered and closed containers. Use disposable towels, especially in restrooms. Do not allow capes to touch the client's skin. If it touched, launder it. Use disposable neck strips or towels. Disinfecting foot spas and pedicure equipment. All equipment that contains water for pedicures must be cleaned and disinfected after every pedicure. The information must be entered into a logbook. Some state regulatory agencies allow single-use tub liners in pedicure equipment. Which foot spa do I have? Whirlpool foot spas create a massaging effect by recirculating water through built-in pipes and jets, similar to a jacuzzi tub. and is often referred to as a piped foot spa. The whirlpool or piped foot spa has come under scrutiny because the disease-causing microorganisms tend to grow inside the pipes despite the disinfecting process, and therefore has been slowly discontinued in the industry. Air jet basins use a blower to force air through small holes in an air channel, creating an overall bubbling massage. Water does not circulate through these air channels. Pipeless foot spas use impellers, the rotating blade of a pump, to circulate the water. This type of foot spa is easily cleaned and disinfected. Non-whirlpool foot basin or tub does not circulate water. It can be connected to running water, and a drain can be portable. Soaps and detergents. Chelating soaps or detergents break down stubborn films and remove residue of pedicure products such as scrubs, salts, and masks. Additives, powders, and tablets. These cannot be used to replace EPA-registered disinfectant solutions. Be wary of chloramine T, as it is not effective disinfectant for equipment. Dispensary. The dispensary must be kept clean and orderly, with the contents of all containers clearly marked. Always store products according to the manufacturer's instructions and away from heat and out of direct sunlight. Keep the SDS for all products used in the salon in a convenient central location for employees. Hand washing. Hand washing removes germs from the folds and grooves of the skin and under the free edge of the nail by lifting and rinsing germs and contaminants from the surface. You should wash your hands thoroughly before and after each service. Use a moisturizing hand lotion after washing. Antiseptics. Antiseptics are chemical germicides formulated for use on the skin and are registered and regulated by the Food and Drug Administration. They can ultimately be drying on the skin. They should only be used after properly cleaning the hands. Follow standard precautions to protect you and your clients. Personal protective equipment. Many chemicals used in the salon require the use of personal protective equipment, such as gloves and safety glasses when working with the products. An exposure incident. First, stop the service and inform your client what has happened. Let the client know you are taking care of your cut. If the nature is severe, ask a salon employee to assist you. If receiving assistance, have the salon employee put on gloves. List your professional responsibilities. Keep floors and workstations dust-free. Control dust, hair, and other debris. Keep trash in a covered waste receptacle to reduce chemical odors and fires. Clean fans, ventilation systems, and humidifiers at least once a week. Keep all work areas well lit. Clean and disinfect restroom surfaces, including door handles. Provide toilet tissue, paper towels, liquid soap, and properly disinfected soft nail brushes, and a container for the used brushes in the restroom. Never place food in the same refrigerator used to store salon products. Summary and review. The regulatory agency and local health board require that businesses serving the public follow certain infection control precautions. As we have learned, contagious diseases, skin infections, and blood poisoning are caused either by infectious bacteria being transmitted from one individual to another by the use of contaminated implements. The more you know and understand about bacteria, how they grow and how they reproduce, and how they are destroyed, the more successful you will attain in the salon in protecting both yourself and clients from unnecessary infections or diseases. It is essential to practice standard precautions, which include using gloves, safety glasses, disinfectants, and salon school cleanliness. Don't take shortcuts when it comes to cleaning and disinfecting. Follow proper procedures, and this will earn your clients' trust and will work to improve the public's perception of cosmetology as a career.